Have you ever had any association with Charles Mingus?
I worked with him for about 2 or 3 weeks. I did 1 week down at Slugs.
2 or 3 weeks.
And then no, it was less than that. I did 1 week at Slugs and a couple of nights at the Vanguard with his big band. And then Mayhem was just getting to be too heavy for me.
Mayhem?
Yeah, it was really... Well, at the time, I don't know exactly what Mingus was going through, but there was, in the big bands particularly, there was a lack of organization, a total lack of organization.
Oh yeah, in Charles Mingus' band?
Yeah, and which is strange. That's why I think in a sense he was probably going through a lot of things outside music that was not allowing him to focus all of his energies on his band. Because from what I understand stuff about Mingus in the past is that he's had really tight rein on all of his bands. But the big band, it was really, as I say, just mayhem for the most part. You know, people not really knowing what they were supposed to do, when they were supposed to do it, or why. And you couldn't really depend on Mingus for organization, as much as lots of times the rehearsals he wouldn't even show up, or gig would start, he wouldn't be there nowhere near, So it just it got to a point where it wasn't good for me. I wouldn't feel like I was making a musical contribution, nor was I getting anything musical out of it. It was just a gig that I was making a little bit of money on, and it just came to a point where it wasn't worth it.
What about the small group?
The small group was kind of interesting. Like I said, we did a week down at Slugs, and during that week, Mingus was arrested, put in jail. I think he was put in the hospital during the course of that week. It was a very strange week. Again, I enjoyed playing the music. I mean, when we played, it was really a wonderful experience, because some of his music is really, quite unique and exciting to play, and interesting and moving. And so when it was happening, it was great. But there were so many times when we didn't know where Mingus was. We'd find out later on that indeed he was in jail or locked up or whatever. It was just a time, I think, of turmoil in his own personal life, and it started to reflect itself within the confines of his band.
I heard he's pretty sick.
He's very sick now. I'm not sure just what the nature of his illness is, but I know he's confined to a wheelchair and can't play, and I don't know. I'm not even sure that there's any hope of him recuperating to the point that he will play,
That's a shame to hear.
It was a great loss.